Hey Stampers, Diane Dimich here with ddstamps.com. And I just had to pull up one more window so I can see your comments. Hey Joan, how are you? We are, yeah, I hear it's hot in Minnesota this weekend, and it's unheard of for us to be in the 90s, and we might get to 98 or 100, which is totally bizarre. But I will tell you, summer's here. We've had cold June, but it's been great this last 2 weeks actually. If you're out there, let me know. You can make a comment. You can give me a thumbs up. You could share the video. That'd be great. I appreciate all that. I've got a lot to show tonight, and I'm probably going to run longer than I planned, but that's okay because you can stay as long as you want. You can leave when you want. And I will actually upload these. I'm going to separate them out because I'm going to do the tutorial for this month, the free tutorial that I give you. And then towards the end, I'm going to talk about the new foiling system from Stampin' Up. So you'll be able to see it all live or on replay on YouTube. But I'm going to split them up tomorrow or tonight or tomorrow and make them 2 different videos if everything goes as planned. Keep our fingers crossed. All right, so don't forget you can comment. I will be able to answer live because I can see who's commenting. All right, so let's get started. Let me pull up. All right, so the tutorial for this month, and that's what I'm going to do tonight. Hi, Kay. Is the uses. Oh, good, you made it too, Ernie. Yay! I love it. I love that people are showing up. That's awesome. Okay, so the tutorial for this month is Exciting Times, and how that works is if you place an order with me in the month of July, I will send you a link to the PDF of this tutorial. By tomorrow, I should have it uploaded, actually me doing the project, so you can walk through them with me. Hey, Joan, if your order is more than $50, you will get a packet of supplies to complete the projects that I complete tonight. And that will come closer to, or in the beginning of August. I will tell you that if you ordered from me in June, I just today realized that I had not placed the order for the supplies for the kits. I had company starting June 1st till yesterday, and I just kind of totally forgot. I thought it was coming. The order showed up today, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's not here. So those are going to be here. They'll probably go out next Wednesday. So watch your mail for that. All right, so $50, you get the card kit. $75, I will send you a project of the month tutorial, which is awesome. I love this month's tutorial. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, but let me show you the, oh no, I want to show you, I was going to show you the cards, but I'm going to show you those all tonight. Let me show you the product of the month. Here it is. All right, so the product of the month this month is this one here, Begonia Bell. I honestly just got it today. I do plan to make some lovely things with it. I think it's great. I've always loved 2-step stamps, and so you can see where these layer on top of each other. These can layer on top of each other, although they don't have to. I really found some demonstrators that were using these separately as 2 different flowers, and it was beautiful. There's a little background here, a little hashtag background. And then some great sentiments that I love. Sending lots of love your way. Thank you for everything you do. You are my sunshine and best wishes. And I do love when they mix the fonts up like that. So this is the product of the month. And just so you're aware, the product of the month is something Stampin' Up does for anybody that places a $75 order. So if you place a $75 order this month, you can purchase this stamp set for $5. But you have to do it when you place that order for $75, because if you forget, it's really hard. I can't get another one. I've been able to help out people by finding them the product of the month, but you really need to place that order and get that product when you place your order. There'll be a thing at the top that will say that you've qualified. So there's that. There is, let me just scoot here. My Create With Me Club is for this month uses the stamp set. Oh, I didn't pull it out. Let me grab it. Let me find it. It is this one here. Sorry about that. It's this one here. Framed Violets. So this is my Create With Me Club for July. Create With Me Club is a separate club that I do. I send you the products, a half a pack of designer series paper, ribbons, embellishments, and then card kits to make 2 of each of the cards. Let me scoot my camera down and I will show you the cards that we're making this month. So the kit comes with the designer series paper, these adorable little embellishments that are flowers with little rhinestone in them. And then I teach techniques and show you this beautiful ribbon is in there, a full spool of that. I will tell you, this one has techniques in it. You get you make 2 cards of each. I'm using the blends, and I've used, I know I've used the pine, and I've used, that's terrible, this color, blends. I think that's the only blends that I use this time. It's just a couple of colors. Just, anyway, these are the cards. You can sign up for that. That's a subscription, or it's either a subscription where you get billed monthly and I send it out, or you can purchase per month, which is $49 per month, or you can just purchase the tutorial and the PDF and the video of me walking you through that. So that is the Create With Me Club. Okay. The tutorial for this month, I think I said that right. Yeah, exciting times. Product of the month. This month's paper pumpkin is this cute hooray for birthdays. There's fun fold cards that kind of sit up. I will tell you that you have to be signed up for paper pumpkin by tomorrow to get this kit. So tomorrow is the day. All right, new kits are coming out. We've got the Daisy Days. I don't know. Things are happening on my computer and I don't have any idea what. So hopefully you can see me still. All right, so this is the Daisy Days kit. It's a scrapbook kit and it's really cute. I don't have one, otherwise I'd show it to you, but it's a ring binder, 6x6 scrapbook with all of the products to make it. This would be a fun kit to do with kids or teenagers. Gilded Gallery, I just got today. I just, in fact, a few seconds ago opened it up. I haven't really looked at the whole thing, but I do love these watercolor bases or card bases and the card bases. These card bases are beautiful. So you can, oh, I'm sorry. You can, I gotta shut my phone off. You can catch a video. I'm probably gonna do it tomorrow or sometime over the weekend. I plan to be, what the heck? Why is everybody calling me? I plan to be doing some YouTube videos over the weekend. It's supposed to be 100, and I'm gonna kick on my air conditioning in my stamp room and hang out. So I hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get a lot of work done this weekend. Things that are back in stock. Oh, did you? That's awesome. Sunflower 3D embossing folder is back in stock. Some of these things just came in stock today. So this cute Painted Skies kit, hi Marlene, is in stock. Everyday Arches is back in stock. And the Moonlit Floral paper is back in stock. This was my Create With Me club for June. So it's really cool paper. I love it. Stampin' Up has a new welcome kit for those people that decide to sign up to become demonstrators. And there's a lot happening right now with Stampin' Up. There's lots of new products and lots of things happening. The welcome kit is really cool. I don't have one to show you, but I just wanted you to be aware of that. So there's a new sign up process. You pay $100, you get $100 to spend in the store. They used to have to, you used to have to get to like exactly a right amount or something. So anyway, now you don't have to do that. You just go right to the store and you can do what you want. I got to check into that and make sure that my numbers are right. So if you're interested about that, let me know. And then the metallic, the new hot foil system Stampin' Up has come out with is being released to the public tomorrow, which was a surprise to me. We were just able to order it a couple weeks ago, and I did a few things with it. I'll show tonight and I'll show you how it works. But I had big plans to have lots of stuff ready. But that's all right, because we'll just learn together. It's not hard to use. It's very easy. And like I said, I will show it to you at the end of the my tutorial videos. All right, so I'm going to flip my camera and we're going to get started. So this month's tutorial uses exciting times, which I do believe right now is probably on back order, but it should be back soon. And it also has a coordinating punch. So this is the bundle. We'll be using that tonight. I used Hydrangea Hue ink, Crisp Cantaloupe ink, Peaceful Pines, Hydrangea Hue, and Crisp Cantaloupe blends. A couple of blending brushes. And I am using black. And tonight I'm using Memento Black. I know some people are having issues with the hybrid black. I am not. And it's only, I'm sure, because I live in a very dry climate. So everything dries quickly. But just so you're aware. Okay, so the paper that we're using for this tutorial is the Artisan Sketched Garden. And it is some great paper. Lots of florals, all in black and white. And so I'm just going to teach you what some of the things you can do with it to make it colorful. And then the backs, excuse me. The backs are some basics and some fun colors. So those are the colors that are in the kit. All right, so let me move stuff out of my way and let's get started. We're going to start with this card. I didn't put these in any order. I just kind of put them on top here. But this is the first card I'm going to show you how to do. And I love this card. I just think it's really beautiful. I'm glad that you're excited about the new stuff. That's cool. All right, so this is basic thick card base. I always use basic thick card bases if my actual card is white. I just like the feel of it. And then I've got a layer of basic black and then some strips of designer series paper. And you can see that I actually colored 2 of them already because I didn't want you to have to sit here and watch me color everything. But I am going to color this one just to show you how I did it. So I'm coming in with a light crisp cantaloupe and putting color right onto this flower and this flower. So on this one, I colored all my flowers. Anything that was what I thought was a flower was colored with crisp cantaloupe. And then the inside of the buds. I'm going to call that crisp cantaloupe too. And maybe this one here. So these pieces are actually cut so that they match up. I just have to figure out where this one goes. Right there. Or no. How do they match up? I did cut them. Oh, you know what? They might be upside down. There's so much to think about. All right, so I know that those 2 go together. This is just like a puzzle. And then this one goes here. There, I had one flipped upside down. So you can see it's just one little strip of designer series paper that then I cut up. I'm going to put those over here in order so I don't do that again. All right, so there's the light crisp cantaloupe, and then I came in and just added some dimension. It doesn't matter because this is a very watercolored look, so you don't have to be perfect. I am never perfect with my blends. I always just kind of do coloring. All right. Then I'm going to come in with my light Peaceful Pine and everything that's going to be green. I actually just did in light because all of these green spots are so tiny that I don't need to have a lot of shading. It isn't going to make a difference. And that's just me. If you like to spend a lot of time doing shading and making everything look prettier than mine. No, I'm just kidding. Have at it. Just color to what you like. I personally like things that are a little bit faster and maybe not perfect. And to me, this paper is perfect for that. So there's that. And then what I did is I took the light hydrangea hue, and I'm just going to use the light one, and I'm going to use the brush end. And all I did was color the background. So I kind of went around the flowers. It doesn't matter if you get more color somewhere and not as much color somewhere else. You can have it be blotchy. Because it really just doesn't matter. And again, if you want to make this and use all of the hydrangea hue, both light and dark, have at it. I just wanted a really simple card and background. Now you can see why you didn't want to watch me color the whole time, because if I had colored all 3 panels, it would take me forever. And I have a lot to show tonight, so there's that. If you don't like some of your coloring somewhere, you can always just go back over it. The nice thing about blends is it all kind of melds together. It all blends in together, and you don't have to it kind of just works like magic. All right, I'm almost done. There. So there's my pieces, and you can see that if you put these together, these other 2 pieces are a little bit lighter. I don't know if you guys can see that in the camera, but this will dry, and it will dry lighter into that hydrangea hue color. So, okay, I'm going to take the black base card. Joan, when I first started using my blends, I always used the bullet tip. And recently, I found myself using the brush tip, especially like this one where I'm coloring a whole bunch. On these particular ones, I used the bullet with the leaves because they're little, but I used the brush with the blends, with the flowers and the background. All right, so here's my black piece. You guys can't really see that. Let me grab a piece of paper. I want you to be able to see this. This just has a very little edge around it. So I took the first one on this side and taped it down. And I'm going to tape, the next one I'm going to tape down is the third one. And that gives me space in the middle for the second one. And it's easier for me to then line it up so that I have even little spaces in there. All right, then I'm going to take some of this crisp cantaloupe bordered ribbon, and I'm going to do a knot. Like this card has a knot. And when I'm doing a knot, I do 3 lengths of whatever I'm tying the knot around. So 1, 2, 3, and then I cut it. And that will give me enough ribbon to wrap around here without wasting a whole bunch of ribbon. So for knots, I do 3 widths, and for ribbon, or for bows, I do 4. I'm going to do a bow tonight too, so we'll review that again. But the other thing I do with my knots is I'm going to hold down that tail. I put it through the hoop, hold down the tail, and only pull one end, and you will get a knot that's flat. It will tighten up, and it will lay flat. If you pull both ends, you're going to twist it, and then you're going to have a twisted knot. And not that it probably matters to a lot of people, but as card makers, some of those things we notice. So that's how I get my knots to be flat. And the nice thing about this is that then I can move this knot where I want it on that card base. So let's say it's like that. Then this piece, put some adhesive on here. We're going to add this to the card base. Now I'm going to remove the white paper so that you can actually see the card base. And I just eyeball it. You can measure it if you choose to. I eyeball it and get it exactly where I want it on that card. Now we're going to take a piece of basic white and a couple of stamps. Let me grab them here. So I've got this frame stamp. I'm going to do that one. And then I can do the happy birthday stamp. I can actually put, I'm going to line this up so that, I don't know if you can see that, but I've lined the top of this birthday stamp along that line. And then I'm going to pop that right inside that frame. So I can stamp this whole thing at one time. All right, so I've got my black ink. Ink this up. We're going to stamp it down. It didn't stamp very well. I didn't get the middle inked. I probably should need to re-ink my memento. So we'll try it again. All right, so I inked it up. As you see, I tipped over the paper. I turned it over because I do own both sides of that paper. That one's much better. And I can use both sides. All right, so once I've got that done, I'm going to go ahead and take my punch. And you'll see when you line this up, it truly just punches out the inside of the label. So once I got it lined up, I'm going to punch that out. I'm going to flip this over, add some dimensionals. Take the dimensional tape off. This will end up on all my dogs. I've got all the dogs tonight. The kids have the yard dug up, so the dogs are all here. And then I'm going to add this to the front of my card. And there is the first card done. I do love this Exciting Times stamp set. I think it's a good one. It's easy and it's got lots of, you could use it all for everything. So there's the first card. Now the second card, very similar. We're using that designer series paper. I actually chopped these up already, but I'm going to use all those pieces. We have a basic black card base this time. So this goes with everything. Another thing I wanted to tell you is whatever colors you have, if you don't have these blends, when you get this kit, use the colors that you have. Use the markers that you have. Use whatever you have. All right, so I probably should have done this beforehand, but we're going to do this. We're going to do with this, we're just going to color the background. We're not going to color anything else. So I'm going to pull out my blends and I'm going to use the brush tip. You can use whatever tip works for you. There might be some spots where I don't use the brush tip just because, a little piece of fuzz on there, just because they're too close together. And I'm just coloring the background of this whole piece of paper. One of the things I love about black and white paper is that you can change it to whatever you want it to be. What works for you. Like I said, if you don't have these colors when you get this card kit, you'll have other colors that will coordinate with it. So this was kind of a fun one. I would, if you get a card kit in August and you change it up, I would love to see what you do with it. I won't be offended if you change up the color. All right, so you get the gist. It's going to be a lot of coloring. I was kind of looking at stuff today when I was cutting cardstock for all this and thinking I had done most of my coloring. I forgot to look at this one. This will be the most. And the other thing is this is a very forgiving technique so that if you color in where you're not supposed to color in, it's not the end of the world. Or if you forget to color in where you thought you should have colored in, you could always add it later. So what did everybody do for the 4th of July? 4th of July here in Red Lodge is what they call Cowboy Christmas weekend. So there's rodeos all over Montana. Red Lodge is known for its rodeo on the 4th of July. It's the Home of Champions rodeo. It's a big deal. We have 3 days of actual rodeo and 1 day of what they call extreme bulls. So we have parades every day at noon. All kinds of stuff going on. Let me know. Yeah, Joan, I love the black and white. All right, so there, I'm done. I'm going to be done. If I need to add more later, I'll add more later. So I'm going to take the piece that I colored and I'm going to add it onto my card base, making sure, again, we're on black, making sure that the border is similar all the way around. And then I'm going to take the piece that I cut off of this piece. I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to add that polka dot right to the front of that card base like that. And then I'm going to take my adhesive and I'm going to run it right down that seam. So I use the ribbon in different ways in this tutorial. And this one, I'm going to trim off. Let me find my scissors here. I want to trim this off straight because I'm going to line it up on my card. Pretty good. All right, so then I'm going to just put it right at the top where the designer series paper meets. Come straight down and trim off that edge. So there's just, that's all I did, was just add a little bit of ribbon to it. Then I'm going to take my label punch and we're going to pull off we'll ink up the stamp. We're going to ink up the same stamp we did the first time because I do want that little frame around it. So we're going to ink that up, stamp it on my piece of cardstock. And then I'm going to take this other stamp, which has, I got to get a little bit bigger block. Should have had 2 out here. All right, so then this one has just like a fanned out edge on it. Got a little piece of fuzz on there. And we're going to ink that up. And this time I'm going to hopefully go right over the top. And I can line it up with the frame that's already there. Not perfect, but close enough. And then I'm going to go ahead and line this up with the punch. And punch that out. Taking my crisp cantaloupe, I'm just going to add color right to the fanned part. Just to make that stand out a little bit. All the way around. This is probably a part, Joan, where I would use the bullet tip. I'm using the brush, but I would use the bullet tip in the thinner parts of that. And we're going to make this one, well, we'll make it a happy birthday card. We're always looking for happy birthday cards. Stamp this right in the middle. I love black and white. Find the dimensionals, which are always lost on my desk. Add a couple to the back. And we'll put this right here. And there is card number 2. Now on the inside, I did have somebody contact me to say, I want to see the inside of your cards. So I did do just the Let's Celebrate. And I actually have this piece left over, which I could use either side. And I could actually put that inside that way, or I could color it the other way. But just to give it a little bit more of the designer series paper. You could also color these little dots. Crisp cantaloupe, which would be cute. All right, so there's card number 2. Let me show you the first card that I did. Because what I did on this one is I cut a flower out from the other designer series papers, and I just used like what was at the corner of it or one edge, because sometimes everything's off the edge. So I just used the edge and did the inside of that for that. All right. Next card. Imagine that, it's another black and white card. All right, so we've got, this is the card. This is the designer series paper. And then we got a layer of crisp cantaloupe. I need to change my blade on my cutter because it's kind of getting fuzzy. And then a basic black background again. So fold that in half. We're going to take this piece and we're going to use some of that crisp cantaloupe ink. Oh, happy birthday, Joan. I also love that your daughter was celebrating her anniversary. That's awesome. When I was a kid in Minnesota, we always went to a cabin for our vacation on Ottertail Lake. I don't know if you know where that is, but I have very fond memories of summertime in Minnesota. So I'm just taking the blending brush and getting some ink on it and just changing up the color. So again, make it whatever color ink you have at home. So it doesn't have to be all perfect, just has to have color on it. So there's that. I'm going to do this piece too because I want to use this. I'll show you this on the inside. So I'll just go ahead and add crisp cantaloupe to this little piece. All right. So now put that over there. Take our designer series paper. Hardest part about this paper is that then you're covering up that, which they're so pretty, but it's okay because you could get lots of paper. So I'm just going to add that onto my crisp cantaloupe layer, and then I'm going to take my ribbon, and this time I want to do a bow. So I'll do 4 lengths of that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that will give me enough. Cut that off without wasting too much ribbon. And we'll tie this in a bow. The neighbor's dogs are out, can you tell? Now they just bark to bark. The nice thing about this is I wanted to make this tail a little bit longer, but I can just move where the bow is. I can always then place it where I want to. With the bow, I pull both at the same time. And then I always adjust to see exactly how I want my loops to be. So I spend a lot of time fussying with that, sometimes a lot of time. And then I'm just going to scoot this over to the side of my card. Trim off my tails. I think I showed you once. Sometimes the tails of your ribbon will start to unravel, and if you just take a little tiny bit of green glue, like a little tiny bit, and then just dab it along that edge of that ribbon, it's just enough to hold the threads in place, and it won't start unraveling for you. Just a quick tip. All right, so this piece is going to get placed on my card base. And again, I'm just eyeballing the frame so that it looks close. And then we are going to take our stamped frames that we already stamped. I'm going to use this one because I think it's a better looking frame. But you could use either one. And all I did on this was just take my blends and color in the frame. And again, Joan, I'm using the brush end. I'm leaving a little, I'm not going to because it's too hard. I left a little bit of a white, this white here. I left it white. I'm going to color it this time, only because it makes my coloring go faster because I'm not trying to not hit that part. So you do it your way. So I don't want all these little frames to go to waste because I think they're so cool. Then what you do, just grab your scissor and you're going to cut straight up the side and across the top. Do it on this side too. And once I've got all 4 sides done, then I'm just going to take my scissor and just go right to that little corner and just cut it in a curve. Super simple. All right, so there's that piece. Now, to save some time, I actually cut out a couple of flowers from one of the designer series papers and I colored them. And I just used the blends. I used Peaceful Pine, Crisp Cantaloupe, and Hydrangea Hue. And these pieces, everybody's card's going to look different because you're all going to get different in the kit. You're all going to get different flowers, but any of them will work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to tuck it behind the frame, but I want the flowers, so I kind of want it like that. So I want it tucked in the frame, but let that hang out there. And then this one, I'm going to do the same thing with. So the bottom of the vase is going to, it's going to be behind it, but still sticking out. Once I've done that, then I can just flip it over. I can adjust on this side too, because I kind of really know what I want. So as you can see, I want the jars to be down at the bottom. And then I want the actual flowers to be hanging off the outside edge of the, and then I'm just going to add dimensionals. That's going to hold it all into place. There. So it looks like that. So you're just putting dimensionals where you see the frame meet up with the designer series paper flowers. Pull off all the tabs. We're going to bring this in, and then we're just going to place it where you want it. All right, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take the edge. So I'm just going to use like the edge here of this and a stamp. Ink that up in the black. I'm going to use that edge to make my stamping straight. So I just use the edge of the cardstock. You can see right through it. Once I've done that, then I'm going to take my scissor and I'm just going to cut a straight across. And then trim up my edges so that they're about the same length. And then I cut up the middle first. I've seen other people do it differently. And then go corner to the middle to cut my banner. And do the same thing on this side. Up the middle, the corner to the middle on both sides. Like that. And then this piece is actually just going to get put on with a little bit of adhesive. And I lined it up right along with that ribbon. I don't know if that piece is straight, but close enough. Anyway, there's that card. I just think this is a really fun technique, and it's fun with the different flowers. So you can see these are totally, they're different flowers. Very similar cards. Yay! All right, that one's done. Oh, and then this piece, let me see. So on the inside of my card, I just took this piece and I put a piece of basic white and then just add this strip of designer series paper in there. And actually you could go either way. Now it looks better this way. So that's why I blended that piece. All right, last card. This one is beautiful. This is Hydrangea Hue. Oh, you know what I did on, let me go back a minute. So on this card here, you can see where I used some of the in color dots. So you'll get those in the kit too. So there's the dots that I just put on that card just to add a little bling to it. All right, this one is really hydrangea hue. Designer series paper. I colored some flowers. A little bit of just hydrangea hue cardstock at the bottom. So that's this piece. I actually colored my flowers, and again, you'll see where I cut these off of the edge of cardstock. That's why those edges are flat. I just want to make sure that you use that part of your cardstock. So we're going to come in this time with hydrangea hue and a blending brush. Get some ink on there, and then just go to town. And it doesn't have to be all one color. You can just kind of put some deeper colors if you want into some of the flowers. I want a little bit of texture to it. So that's all I'm going to do with that. Just really super easy. And then we'll take a dark base and fold it in half. Again, we're using black. We're going to just add this. This would be fun paper to color. So we're just going to leave a border around the three sides that are similar. And then I'm going to take this piece of hydrangea hue that I cut and add some adhesive. And this one's going to go right to the bottom. But I did want to have a little split between them, only because I like that look. I don't know why, because normally I would butt them up together. But it's always fun to do things a little bit differently. All right, so there's that. I've colored my flowers, so I need to do my frame. So we're going to pull out the frame. We're going to add this stamp to a block. I want to make sure I get it on correctly. Add the black ink. Stamp it onto my cardstock. Yay. We'll use that thank you again because I kind of like that. So we're going to do thank you. And then we're going to do so much. I could have actually added these at the same time, put them on one block. But because they're photopolymer, they're easy to see. That's that. Let me cover the ink pad before and then we're going to color it. And so what I did with this one is I'm going to come in with a bullet tip of the Peaceful Pines and just color along the outside edge. So I've got that bordered. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do this outside edge in Peaceful Pine. That. And then I'm going to take the dark hydrangea hue and I'm going to start by filling in this border. And I am using the bullet tip because that's a pretty thin line. And if I angle it right, I can pretty much get the line in one pass. Such a pretty color. This was one of my absolute favorite ink colors, although I have to admit that this year I love them all. I wasn't sure about Golden Glow, but it's grown on me and I've used it a lot. Yep, the bullet tip is great. All right, so then I'll go to brush and just go ahead and color in this part of the frame. And if you look at it, if you can see this, the colors are totally different. This looks so purpley compared to the bullet tip, but it will dry and it will dry the same color. All right. You can tell it's already drying up here. I'll show this up close, but you can see how it's so purple. It's so purple there, but then it dries much lighter. All right, so there's that one. And then I'm going to take my scissor and I'm just going to trim it out so it has a little bit of a white border all the way around it. If I wanted to, I could put this in my cutter and try to line it all up, but I am not that precise with most everything I do. And these are great straight edges, so it makes it super easy to cut out. And then once you've done that, you're going to just round my corners, following the line of the label. Like that. Move out this stuff out of the way. This one is actually going to go on with dimensionals. Pull off the, I'm going to layer this onto my card base. And then I'm going to go ahead and add these on here. So as I put these on here, I can see that this side should have just flat adhesive and this side should have a couple of dimensionals. I don't really want those to hang off, so I'm trying to, yeah, it'll be good enough. All right, so I'm going to flip this over, add a couple dimensionals. If I find that this, like I think that this might be too much, I'm just going to trim off this sleeve. We might use that leaf for something else. There, so now I can do it and it doesn't hang off the edge of the card base, which you can't see because it's black. So I'm going to add my flower on like that, and then this one's going to get added on. And I'm just going to kind of overlap that, and they don't match perfect, but they match up. And then once I do that, I might just cut this straight across at the bottom. I got bigger flowers this time around than I did on this one. I just picked one flower and cut it out for that one. So again, I'm going to line this up, covering up that where you probably see it if you look close, but there is a seam right there. And then flip this over. Oh, I have a dimensional right there. That's right, they cut off too. And just cut that off. And there is your card base. And then once I've done that, I'm going to take some of these great dots. Like I said, I love these colors. And just add a couple, and you know me, I do three. I do things in odd numbers, so 3 dots or 5 dots, but I just did 3 because it's not very big. And that is card number 4 for the tutorial. On the inside, again, I just layered it with the basic white and then added another flower bunch that I cut from the edges of the paper. So I could use all that paper. All right. Okay, now let me clean up a little bit here, get some of my stuff out of the way. We're not going to use this stuff for the foiling machine. I know people are going to have lots of questions, I think. Thank you. I love those cards. I'm hoping that people have lots of questions. I'm willing to answer them all if I know the answer. If I don't know the answer, I will find out. Let me move the products out of the way here. I want to make room for the machine. All right, so let's talk foiling. This is the foil machine. Of course, you can see me now, so you can't see it. Couple of things about the foiling machine. It's becoming available tomorrow to anybody. It is made by Spellbinders. It's a new and improved version of what they brought out a couple years ago. And the last thing I have to tell you is that in order to use this particular machine, you have to use the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So it has to be in a machine that's this big, which is kind of a bummer for people. I know a lot of people wanted it to fit the Big Shot because we used to sell that years ago, but it fits that machine. All right, sorry I had to get a drink. All right, so let me come down to the bottom here of what comes. Somewhere there's a little wand. I cleaned my stamp room last week because I had so many people. I set up in here for 4th of July and kind of moved everything, and I'm missing some things. It's going to take me a little while to find them all. I don't see the wand. I'm going to have to. So the wand, oh, here it is. All right, so it comes with instructions. I would recommend that you hang on to them. And it just talks you right through how to set it up, how the instructions work, how to do the foiling. One of the things that Stampin' Up is doing, so this is the surface of the foil machine, and as you can see, it says hot surface, avoid contact. This little piece of silicone in here gets really hot, so you really have to know that and be careful of that. Oh my goodness, now I can't find the cords. Oh, here they are. Goodness, it's one of those days. I should have probably practiced a little bit today. So here's the cord. This is the piece that plugs into an outlet. Let me find an outlet. All right, so that's plugged into the outlet. It has a little green light. It has a little like magnet thing like you might have on your iPad or your iPhone. And this is where you plug it in. Once you plug it in, it's going. So you can see where it has this little red dot here. That just means it's not ready yet. So the other thing you get is you get a silicone pad. And this is to put the hot dies on so that you don't burn your counters or your table. And then you get these shims. A hot foil shim and then the hot foil spacer. And these are the two things that go on top of it to put it through the Big Shot. And then you have this little magic wand that helps you pick up your metal dies. And then you get foil. So right now, Stampin' Up has hot pink, silver, and gold. They do plan to add to their product line. I'm assuming Christmas time, Christmas is coming. We're going to get some fun foils for Christmas. I just want to grab the ones that are opened. So that's the 3 foils that we carry. I'll put these aside. They come in a box. You get 2 to a box. I'm going to store mine in the box just to keep the dust off of it. And then you have foil dies. So the hot foil dies are gold on the front. They say hot foil dies right on them with the name of the die. This one's really fun. It's a big one. So they come very similar to our other dies, but they have a dull finish. They're a little bit thicker, and you'll feel it. It has like it's kind of rubberized, or probably silicone or something. So anyways, so this is the one of the dies, and I'm going to tell you it takes a long time for this to churn so that you can use it to put the die on, but it's getting hot. All right, so I'm going to go through a couple of the dies. So this one, these are words, and they're fairly large, as you can see. And then these are dies to cut out those words, and they are happy birthday, Get well, thank you, thinking of you, and celebrate. And so then you get, you can foil these and then cut them out with the dies. I'm going to be watching for comments and questions. I love this one. This is what I used a lot, and I'll show a bunch of samples of stuff I did. So this one is butterflies. This is the foiling die. This is the die to cut it out, and then you also get some standalone dies to go with your butterflies. And then this one also comes with stencils. So you have these great stencils to color your butterflies. I've showed that before, and I'll be showing videos with all of this stuff. One of the things Stampin' Up! Is doing is they're offering a hot foil class to anybody that places an order for this hot foil machine. They'll get the class automatically. And I think that class is towards the end of this month. So this is the Botanical Glows. There's a stamp set. And then there's the Botanical Glow hot foil dies. They do not, oh good, because you'll love the butterflies, Joan. These do not match. They're meant to be off-centered. So there's that. Well, Kay, if you have one from that you know how to use, I would use that. All right, so Flourish and Frames. So this is the stamp set, and I haven't even used it yet, but I have done some of these. So first, Flourish and Frames. These are dies. These are hot foils. Anything that's gold, anything that's black or gray is dies. Let me show you. These are all dies. This happens to be one of my favorites. I just fell in love with this. I wasn't sure if I needed the stamp set, but I got it because why not? But these are dies and this is dies. And then these are more foils dies. So that's what I got. My favorite, I will tell you, is Flourish and Frames. You don't need to have the stamp set if you don't want it, because you're going to use these for a lot of things. And the other one is the Butterfly. And I'm sure all of them will become favorites as I use them, because that's just how it works. I'm going to move this up here so it's out of the way. It's getting hot. It takes about 6 minutes. So let's talk about this die for a minute. Oh, let me show another one. So I'm going to show you while that's warming up. We'll show you this one here. So that die is on there. And once I'm done using it, I can just pick it up with this magnetic, and then I'm not touching a hot die. This one's a little bit heavier. So when you're picking up these heavy ones, you want to do it in the middle and then drop it. So this tool is very useful, in my opinion. You don't want to be burned. So we'll just wait while that heats up. When the platform is ready, it beeps and the red light stays solid and the white timer button flashes. So as soon as that gets hot enough, this little red light will stop flashing and you'll hear a beep. Once you've got it heated up as you're working through other things, it doesn't take as long to heat up. But I do want to show you how super easy this is. It's so easy. My goodness. Let me grab my Big Shot. I'll pull my Big Shot in closer when we're ready to go. Anybody have any questions? Probably not at this point, huh? We're going to do this one in pink. And I like to just kind of look at the die and see how long it is. So I'm going to cut it off here. You can cut it off straight with a trimmer, or a pair of scissors works. The scissor has a little bit of adhesive on it, so it's not working the best, but it's still going to work. So hot. It's hot in this room anyway, because it was warm today. So I might open the door, get some, and then having this heated thing here while we wait. Sorry it's taken so long. 6 minutes. But like I said, once it's heated up, we're good to go. Dum dum dum. Da, da, da. All right. All right, you hear the beep? This is flashing, it means it's ready. So I'm going to take my die and place it on that hot pad. Shiny side down. You always want to make sure that your foil goes shiny side down onto your die. And then a piece of cardstock. You're going to press the button. You can put these on now or you can wait. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to put this one down first because that's the hot foil shim. And then I'm going to put this one down because it's got a beveled edge, so it'll go through the Big Shot easier. You hit that button again and it comes up yellow. And let me scoot this over. That just comes up yellow and then pretty soon it turns green. Bring in my Big Shot or my cut and emboss machine. It's going to turn green and then it's ready to go. So really it's just about patiently waiting for certain things to happen. But like I said, once it's heated up, it doesn't take long. I mean, and once you start doing it, you're foiling everything. Pretty side to pretty side. Yep. I want to make sure this is in your view. I'm going to have to play music during, oh, or dog barking. There we go. Okay, now it's ready. So we're going to unhook it, pick up the whole platform, take it to your machine, start putting it in, but then go very slowly. You want to crank it through, not fast. Just go slow. You could go back again if you wanted to, but I'm not going to because sometimes I think it makes it kind of move. But I'll tell you, this is warm but not hot. So let me move this out of the way. Pull off my shims. So here is my paper. I'm going to turn this back on. Oh, you got to plug it in. Get that going again. And then when I pull this off, it's so pretty. All right. You'll see I got some on my shim here. It's not the end of the world. If I wanted to take that off, I could take a little acetone and get that off, or I could leave it. It doesn't matter. I just saw a demonstrator today who glittered her or foiled her whole shim, so it looked like this. It was very pretty. It's not going to affect how it works. Anyway, there is those flowers. It is so pretty. I'm going to try something with this extra piece. Something I saw today or heard about today. Let me grab that. We're going to move that off of there because we're going to put it on upside down. We're going to do this side on there. So we're using the back. We're taking our foil. As soon as that's ready, I'll wait. So anyway, isn't that beautiful? So I have a whole bunch of samples. Let me show you what I made. It truly is that simple. Here is that hot pink on a piece of pink cardstock. And I use all kinds of cardstocks. Stampin' Up! Claims that the smoother the cardstock, the better your glimmer, but I liked just a regular cardstock. You can do it on vellum, you can do it on window sheets. Here it is gold on Secret Sea, my favorite color. So pretty. Silver on basic white. Those are pretty. Let's see the butterflies. So these are the butterflies done in the hot pink. So then the stencils match up to them. So one is silver and one is gold, and I use the stencils to color them, and then I'm going to use the dies to cut them out. But you don't have to. These could be like the base of the actual card. So lots of fun stuff. Some frames that I did. I found these frames super easy to do. So this frame, I used the outside edge, and then I used some of the decorative insides. And I did that to all of them, and I didn't think they turned out, I mean, they were pretty easy to line up. Just did them all together. So if I was going to put words on this frame, I mean, you could do the frame, right? Yeah, so you could put the frame down, put the words down, put any decorative pieces down you want, add the foil, and run it through and heat it all at one time. And then I've got, okay, so that's on there. We're going to put the foil on there. Pretty side down, right, Joan? Piece of white cardstock. The shim, which is probably going to get more. Where's the other shim? Right here in front of me. All right, so then I did this label, and I added these little doodads to it. Oh, that's funny. I added them the wrong way. They don't match. But I was just practicing. So this part I want to show is what you can do with the piece you've already foiled. And I'm going to tell people, save your pieces. So I've saved all these pieces of foil. I know Stampin' Up kind of hinted towards getting a solid plate, which would be better than using the back of a die, but it'll work. So save your pieces, because there'll be lots of demonstrators showing lots of different things you can do with it. There was one other thing I saw. Let me see if I can find a... Yeah, this one will work. I wanted to try this. I'm going to do it live, so if it doesn't work... If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We'll see how it all comes out. So, hot foil machine is going to be big. Like I said, there's going to be a class. If you place your order with me for the hot foil machine, I will send you a packet of supplies for the actual class that Stampin' Up's going to do, so that you have all your pieces cut and ready to go. Because there's designer series paper and two-tone cardstock, all kinds of stuff that they're using. It'll just save you a little bit of money. If you're going to take the class anyway, why not? I'm going to go slow because this is a big piece. If you're going to purchase the thing anyway and take the class, get the kit from me. Save you a little bit of money and time. I hate it when it snaps like that. I won't run it through twice. I'll just run it through once. Let's see if it worked. Oh, it did work. Oh my gosh. All right, so pulling off the foil. It did over foil on my mat. That's okay. I would trim this down anyway. But how much fun is that you get that foiled background? What'd you say, Joan? The directions, there is a Facebook page, Joan, for anybody that's taken the class, and they do have directions for the cutting. Anyway, so this is the first foil. This is using the back of it. I just love it. I think it turned out so pretty. Oh, I guess I had two pieces of cardstock. I wondered why it was a little bit harder to get through. All right, I'm going to show one more thing. I haven't really made these into cards yet, but I will. I'll pull this one off, plug it back in. Truly is going to be the hardest part, is plugging it back in, but I love this. Love it. All right. Let me grab a little piece of foil. Let me grab a piece of cardstock too. We'll use this piece of Peaceful Pine. We'll use this Peaceful Pine piece. Yeah, check it out. There's a Melody has a video up there for cutting all the cardstock in the supply list. I'm so happy that that worked. I just think that's beautiful. I can't wait to make that a card. It's very shiny. Put that with my pile of things to deal with this weekend. This is just a little bit warm, but it's almost done. I think this time we'll use some silver. Let me grab a scissor. I think I'm going to set up a pair of scissors just to be foiling scissors so they're sharp and don't have any adhesive on them. All right, so I cut a little foil. All right, so this is going to be one of those techniques that Stampin' Up! Is never going to recommend you do. So I just want you to know that. I don't want you to lose your warranty on your machine. I'm going to take a regular die. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it down on there. Add my foil, pretty side to cut side. Take a piece of Peaceful Pine. Hit that button so that it warms up. It's really cool. What I will tell you is this die that I'm using, you can't use it, you can't cut the foil out as a die cut then, because what it does is it's heating up the cut lines. Sorry about that. It's heating up the cut lines, and so you can't cut it out. But I could make it a background. Any of your dies could become a background. I don't know what's going on. Sorry. I think the neighbors are antagonizing the dogs. Freya, that's enough. That's enough. Nellie, come on. Nellie, come on. Come on. Sorry about that. So we'll just wait for that to heat up, and then we'll run it through the machine and see what we get. Yeah, it's crazy. The neighbor, they don't really, I don't know, whatever. All right, so I'll unplug it, put it through the machine. Go through slowly. Oh, I don't think it's thick enough. Doesn't feel like it was thick enough. So I'm going to add a piece of cardstock just for a shim, and we'll take it back the opposite way. So everybody's machine might be a little bit different for this technique. All right, let's see if it worked. Place that there, place that there. Pull this off. Here's the foil. Here's the cardstock. Okay, it overfoiled. I probably didn't need that piece of cardstock. You can see where it picked up the mat. I'm going to practice that technique and figure out what my machine needs, but I don't think I needed the extra shim in there. Let's try it again. This one's cool. So I'm going to heat that up again and run the cardstock through again. Without the shim and only once. I guess it just, because it's so thin. The one thing I will say is, you know, you couldn't cut this out then with the die because it would cut away all the silver that's on there. So let's try gold. Oh, the dogs are crazy. Yeah, it's cool. Like I said, it's just another way to use the products that you have. So wait for that to heat up. Might work better too with the two-tone cardstock or the basic white cardstock. All right, it's ready. So the die's on there. Put the foil on there. Put the cardstock on. I'm going to do it on white cardstock this time. Add my shims. Stop. Stop. Wait for it to beep again. Yeah, it's a cool background. All right, any minute now, it's going to be done. Any minute. There we go. All right, so I'm going to put it through my machine. No shim, just slowly. It just goes through so easily. You think, oh, did it do anything? Guess we'll find out. Lay that there. Pull that off. Much better this time. All right, I did get a little over foiling on the top there. Oh no, it's still really over foiled. I'm gonna have to think this through. It's still kind of cool, but not exactly what I wanted. So Stampin' Up tells us not to do that, so there's a reason. Because it didn't work. However, somebody will figure out exactly how to get that to work. So there is the foil machine. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a lot of foiling, playing with it, and take that class with Stampin' Up. If you're interested in ordering it through me, I will send you the kit to get that, the kit to make the cards. Joan, I think I'm going to send out a kit too to my downline, those of you who do order it. So if you've already ordered it, just send me like a copy of the invoice or the order so I can see that it was ordered. That's just for the machine. So anyway, then nobody else has any questions. I'm gonna go for the night because I got to get these dogs under control before the neighbors are mad. Although the neighbors are the ones that are getting them wound up. So there's that. Anyway, thanks. Take care. I don't see any more questions, so I'm going to let you all go. And I will see you next week. Next week I'll be on next Thursday. Take care. Good night.